for more than 100 years. Animal control in the city of Wilmington has been the Delaware SPCA's domain. That is, until this summer.
As time has gone on, it's become more and more financially unfeasible for us to continue because the city really only pays for the officer part and not so much for the care of the animals once they come into our care.
According to the Delaware SPCA, the city pays $250,000 a year for its animal control contract. However, since the SPCA went no-kill in 2009, animals are staying longer and the dollars aren't going as far as they used to. No-kill is defined as a 90% save rate, 10% euthanasia rate. And with Delaware SPCA now on the no-kill bandwagon, advocates are ramping up efforts to make Delaware the first no-kill state in the country, especially since Delaware passed a shelter standards law in the summer of 2010, making what some call convenience killing illegal. According to the law, shelters must first make sure there are no empty cages or other shelters or foster care networks willing to take the animal before it's euthanized.
We have the strongest shelter standards in the entire country, agreements with each other in terms of sharing information to do everything we can to keep these animals alive.
It used to be that Delaware SPCA was an open access shelter for many, many years, meaning any animal could come here and be dropped off. And right now, Delaware doesn't really have any shelters that are like that, so animals do get turned away.
It does create challenges for us because we will not euthanize unless we have a real, serious health issue or behavior issue. But we have manageable issues, but they take up space now.
Patrick Carroll is the executive director of the Delaware Humane Association, a no-kill shelter in Wilmington. An expansion is in the works at Delaware Humane, which Carroll says will expand DHA's capacity by 20%.
Right now, if you look at the shelters, because of the quick decision to become, quote, no-kill for most of them, they're all overburdened, particularly with cats. So even though we have a transfer program, we can't transfer cats, we can't transfer pits because everybody's full of them.
Kent County SPCA is an open-door shelter for dogs, limited access for cats. They also handle animal control for all 3 counties. Statistics on Kent's website show the shelter euthanized about 43% of its animals in 2010, including healthy, treatable, and untreatable cats and dogs. But with other shelters full all of the time, Kent SPCA says it's stuck between a rock and a hard place.
I think you have to make courageous decisions. Are we benefiting an animal by not performing humane euthanasia versus poison, shoot, drown, hit by car, those types of things that are the undocumented deaths?
Mary Ann D'Amato says, unfortunately, Kent SPCA has been made out to be the bad guy in all of this, given it's not no-kill.
No one that gets into animal welfare wants to come into this work to euthanize animals. The issue is a community issue, and the burden of responsibility has been put on the animal shelters.
A community issue that left Ella Lovebug here to die on the side of a road, duct taped in a cardboard box. Fortunately, a Good Samaritan got to her just in time.
Shelters are trying to keep up with it as best they can. This is not a criticism of them, but the truth of the matter is people are not able to get them all in, or they're not willing to travel because they can't get them in their particular county.
Some good news, shelter statistics through December 2010 show a slight decline in animal intake numbers since 2006, when the state passed its spay-neuter law.
Any animal that comes from a shelter has to be spayed or neutered. At least if you're adopting from a shelter, you're getting a pet that's been neutered. We also have a state-sponsored spay-neuter program. Under this program, anyone who's receiving any kind of public assistance can get their pet neutered for only $20.
The spay-neuter law is the result of a task force established in 2001 that included members from the state's shelters, law enforcement, and social services agencies, all working together.
I think we've seen numbers go down in terms of dogs especially, but cats, no. Not cats. Cats just continue to come.
An uphill battle, even with 4 large animal welfare organizations and several smaller ones throughout the state, which are all competing for the same dollars, resources, and pet adopters.
The 2 objects here should be reduce cruelty, reduce overpopulation. All the organizations have to come back together again, sit down at the table, and bring in the community and come up with resolution. It doesn't do any service to the animals or the community for fragmentation of organizations.
Our goal eventually would be, we don't need animal shelters, so we'd like to go out of business essentially because there aren't any animals that are homeless.
Even if it means you're going to be out of a job?
Sure, that'd be great.